Good morning, my fellow crypto traders. I'm back for this Friday update on the Bitcoin for everybody except TradingView viewers, because I got banned again on TradingView. Apparently, I mentioned Telegram. The word Telegram was in my description, my video description. That is not allowed, so they banned me for 7 days. I apologize to all my TradingView subscribers if you're watching this elsewhere. I cannot post videos, I cannot post charts, I cannot respond to comments or questions on that platform. So if you want to subscribe to studom.us or studamus.com, we'll get you there as well. That would be a better platform if you don't want to miss all my crazy ramblings. All right. Today, I am going to talk about Bitcoin, current price action, where we potentially could go, what I'm seeing on the charts. I'll talk a little bit about Luna, what has happened with Luna, and I'm going to talk a little bit about stops. So before I jump into the charts, let me do the reverse and talk about stops first. All right, so stops. I did not have stops on Luna. All right, I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to explain my philosophy, my rationale behind that, and tell you if I'm going to change that in the future. All right, many of you know I paused paid subscriptions due to this whole fiasco. It's bad enough that everybody's losing money, but I don't want them to be losing money on watching me lose money as well. That's just a vicious cycle I don't want anybody to have to go through. I'm perfectly fine without the subscription money. I don't need that. I have a good job. And so, when something like this happens, I just want to help as many people as possible so they don't have to go through this. Now, a lot of you know that 20% of my trading portfolio was in Luna. That's a big chunk. Normally, I don't go that big. Not only that, I did not have stops. Why did I not have stops on Luna? And will I change that going forward? That is the question. All right, so currently, and by the way, guys, it was 20% on my trading portfolio. I do diversify my crypto in many different wallets, many different exchanges, so that if an exchange fails, I lose my seed phrase, an exchange get hacked, exchanges can go down too. Coinbase just came out with the news this week that if they go bankrupt, they're going to start taking your money if you're in Coinbase to pay for that bankruptcy. That stuff happens all the time, and you have to mitigate those kind of risk and prevent them. You have to diversify not just your cryptos, but your exchanges and your wallets. All right. So I did do that, fortunately. So this is just 20% of my trading portfolio. It's still a big chunk of change. Why did I not have stops? All right. Currently, to my knowledge, most of the exchanges only allow you to stop limit or limit sell, right? In the old days, I used to trade on Ameritrade, and this is way back 15, 16 years ago, and I used to use a trailing stop. So I could adjust it by price or by percentage points. So what I would do is I would enter a trade and I would say I love the percentage, having a 3% trailing stop. You can't do that on crypto because it's too volatile for 3%. You'd have to adjust that to like 10% or more. But as I would be in the profit, in the green, I would move that trailing stop up. So maybe get in the profit 10%. All right, now I want to capitalize on that. So I'm going to move my trailing stop up 2%. And then it continues to go up, maybe to the next level on my chart. I move it up to 1%. All right. And then it dips a little. I get stopped out, but I'm all in the profit. That's a smart trading strategy. To my knowledge, and this is the question for you all, is there an exchange that allows a trailing stop on crypto? I'm not aware of one, and maybe my ignorance here has cost me on Luna. The only mechanisms that I have available to me on my current exchanges are a stop limit or a limit sell. All right. And I'll tell you the reason why I didn't use a stop limit here and why I probably, this may sound crazy to you, but hang on a second, hear me out. I probably will not change that strategy. All right, let me jump to the chart because I see an example right here on Bitcoin. So for example, everybody has been talking about this $30,000 level. Even I have been talking about it. I showed you this on my weekly chart as well. All right, $30,000 is key. If we close below that and confirm, we're definitely going to the 200-week moving average, way down here at 21,000. So we haven't done that on the weekly. In fact, we're back above it. And the daily chart is showing us that we are going to move up and probably hit our heads on that black ascending trend line, kiss mama goodbye before coming back down again. All right. That's what the charts are showing me. Now, I'll get into that in just a bit. I'm explaining here why I still wouldn't use a stop limit. I would have probably gone long right here. All right, right here at the 30,000, knowing that is solid support. And if we dip, I would say we're going to dip to this ascending trend line, which, by the way, is my target down for this head and shoulders pattern that I so boldly, brazenly, and stupidly ignored. First time in history, and hopefully the last time in history I ignore such a probability. 85% chance these head and shoulders patterns plays out. And in this case, the target down here for our head and shoulders pattern was straight to this ascending red line, which we did a wick down yesterday and touched, guys. Keep that in mind. But I digress. So I would have gone long here, and I would have put a stop limit at this ascending trend line, 26,000. All right. That is about the percentage I am willing to risk. And that is about a 10% loss. All right. And if I would have gone long there and put in that sell limit at that price, 10% below, not only would have got stopped out while, I don't know when we hit this, but it could have been, I forgot when we hit this. But a lot of times what I've realized is we get stopped out at night while I'm sleeping. And there's nothing I can do about it. Now I'm sitting on the sidelines in stablecoin, with my thumbs twiddling while the market takes off. All right. And that's exactly what would have happened here. I would have gotten stopped out at my 26,000 and I've been left on the sidelines while Bitcoin takes off and is now, $5,000 more than what it was then. So I have found through experience that I am often left on the sidelines. And of course, altcoins are more volatile than Bitcoin. And I'm often left on the sidelines with sitting on my hands as the crypto of choice takes off and experiences, 50, sometimes 100% gains because I trade the very volatile cryptos. So it's been my experience that the risk of losing out on these profits is greater than losing all my profit in one particular coin. That is no different from Luna, by the way. All that money that I put into Luna, 20% of my portfolio, I probably would have never made that money in the first place had I been executing this stop limit strategy. Because so many times it has left me on the sideline in the middle of the night while I'm sleeping and I lose out on opportunities. So I suppose that part of that psychology is still remnant in my mind, the fear of missing out. I FOMO, now the coin goes way up and I FOMO back in and then the coin drops. So I don't want to do that. I want to plan it out ahead of time, see where I think the coin is going. And I'm willing to risk all of I could have put in a stop limit maybe at $25 on Luna. But now what happens if the coin goes all the way down to the $25 mark and then goes back up again? You see what I'm saying? So for me, and this might sound crazy, I am crazy. I take on a lot of risk, but I have found that the greater the risk, the greater the reward. And I have gained a lot of reward by accepting this kind of risk. Now, I have never lost this much in one. But again, all that money that I poured into Luna, I probably would have never had in the first place had I been, getting stopped out at different levels along the way. So I preferred to just let it ride. That is the risk that I accept. And for you, the risk may be different. Maybe you see the risk of losing it all as a higher priority than getting stopped out. And that's fine. Just remember, guys, it's different perspectives. All right. It's not about, well, your risk is way too high, or, well, that depends on your perspective. All right. And your trade strategy and your overall philosophy of trading. And my philosophy is this, that if you take the greater risk, then you will also incur a greater reward. Hang on a second. I see something here on this chart. This purple line. I'm just going to bring this down, see what happens here. Oh, interesting. Ooh, interesting. All right, so we're up against some resistance. But I digress. I was talking about my trade strategy. So going forward, again, I probably won't change anything. Quite honestly, guys, this crypto just moves too fast. Unless one of you can tell me of an exchange that has a trailing stop. I prefer percentage trailing stops, but even if there was a price, I might consider that. Because then it's automatically, see, my stop limit is automatically managed for me. But when I just put in a stop sell, then I can get stopped out at night. And yeah, that can happen with trailing stops too, but it's more manageable, I think, as you're going up at least. And you're going down on the short side. Okay, so Luna is my second topic. Lost everything on that. A lot of people lost everything on that. I mean, I feel terrible. I feel terrible for those that followed me in on that trade. It seemed like such a trustworthy coin. Fortunately, most of you take my advice, which I don't even take, and that is to put in your stop limits. And I'm glad you do, all right? Because that is the risk. I'm a crazy person when it comes to trading. I'm willing to accept and tolerate a tremendous amount of risk, knowing that in the end, the greater the risk, the greater the reward. And so far, it has paid off for me. All the money, again, that I lost on Luna, I probably would have never had in the first place had I been a safer trader. So Luna is gone. It's disappeared. Right now, guys, there's 169 quadrillion coins. That's how many coins are in circulation. Guys, it's almost impossible. The chances of it coming to $1 are none. It's almost impossible that it will come back to 10 cents. If it came back to 10 cents, you'd still have 169 billion in that market. I don't think that's going to happen, guys. I'd be very surprised to see it at, what did I say, 10 cents? I hope I said 10 cents. I can't remember what I said. If it comes back to a penny, that's a remarkable comeback. So, guys, if it does start spot trading again on these exchanges, I caution you, be very careful entering that. I wouldn't touch that thing anymore. It's just too dangerous. What's going to happen is everybody's going to see how cheap it is, and that's what they're going by, and it's going to pump, and then it's going to dump. All right. I'm just telling you, that's the way I see this going. So just stay away from Luna for a while until it reaches equilibrium. All right. Luna is gone. Rest in peace. I had a lot of fun trading it. We had good times with Luna, but now we have to bury her. Okay, getting to Bitcoin. I rambled on and on here. I apologize for that, guys. What is Bitcoin looking like? All right, so I said it before. We've reached the 30,000 support. came down, touched our target, which is this ascending trend line, perfectly. Now you could draw another target down here of 23,000. And it's possible that we still get shaken out because we do have some resistance here. This trend line, this descending trend line, it's possible that this is just a bear flag. All right. This little thing right here is a bear flag, and we go down to 23,000. That's definitely within the realm of possibility. We got to watch this, which I just spotted just now. This is why you got to keep reviewing the charts, guys. You'll spot new things all the time. If we can conquer this descending purple trend line, step back on the top side of that, along with our $30,000 marker here in green, I believe that the potential then is that we go up and kiss mama goodbye. That is, we bump our heads on this ascending trend line, which has so long been our support. I'm going to miss that line, guys. That was our bull market. All right. We were above that line all the way back since December of 20. And it just kept us afloat and kept us in the bull market. We are now looking like we have entered into, we're definitely in bearish territory. The question is whether we have entered a bear market. All right. And as long as we stay below that line, we are in a bear market, in my opinion. That is my perspective. All right. So Bitcoin could come back up, and it will eventually come back up, and we will hit our heads on that. That's a tremendous opportunity and rally, but we got to watch these different levels. We got to conquer these levels of resistance right now. And then once you see that happening, so this is my idea here, is that we go long till we bump our heads, and then that's when we kiss mama goodbye. That's when we go short. All right. And so that is why I have put paid subscriptions on pause. I have to take a moment here to recalibrate, rethink my trading strategy, let you all know, my philosophy about stop limits. I'm posing the question to you. Do you know of an exchange? Please help me out here. If there's an exchange on crypto that utilizes a trailing stop like that, I would love to hear from you. Once we hit that black ascending line, that's when I go short, and I need to prepare myself to advise accordingly. Well, not advise, but just show you what I see. I'm not an advisor. I'm not a consultant. I'm none of those things. I'm an entertainer, and I have been very entertaining this past week. As you watch my portfolio, you could have laughed a lot. Extremely ugly. Fortunately, guys, thank you for all the for reaching out, really. You guys have been great, especially my paid subscribers, loyal guys, all good guys, smart guys. If you want, if you're a paid subscriber and you still want to join that channel, I have left it open, and there's still lots of discussion in there. So I thank you guys for all the reach out and the friendly advice and encouragement, etc., etc. Appreciate that. It means a lot to me. Okay, let's enough sappiness here. Let's do our concluding thoughts. What am I? 3? Yeah. All right. So, guys, we're never really guaranteed anything in this life. All of life is uncertain, and it's just not crypto. I mean, everything is uncertain. It's a matter of managing those uncertainties in a way that you feel comfortable. So, to many people, it may look foolish or stupid to take on the risk that you take on. We don't have to look any further than 2020. People were wearing masks. People were not wearing masks. To the mask wearers, the people not wearing masks look like idiots. To the people not wearing masks, when you saw somebody wearing a mask in their car driving downtown with all the windows closed, that looks stupid. But it's a matter of perspective, all right? And so be careful about just calling people stupid, all right? Understand that there are many variables and factors the human mind is taking on. It's a very complex, and we are. It's a matter of our perspective and what risk we're willing to tolerate and what risk we're not, all right? So it looks as though you have taken on too much risk. To others, you may not have taken on enough. It's a matter of risk tolerance and what you're personally comfortable with. I just said that. This is why when I'm asked where someone should buy and sell, or what they should buy and sell, I really never give a direct answer. Instead, I answer with a question. Well, I'll start with what's your risk tolerance? What are you willing to take on? And then we'll work through that process. All right. Obviously, we cannot always gauge our risk correctly, i.e. Luna. I was gauging that it was a relatively safe, larger alt cap coin. Therefore, I put 20% of my portfolio into that into that crypto. All right. I didn't gauge it correctly, but this was a black swan event. Nobody could know that this was going to happen. So in these cases, preventive measures should be put in place. So thankfully, I did this to the degree that I was comfortable. I diversified in exchanges, I diversified in crypto, and I accepted the risk of no stop loss on Luna as opposed to having one. This may look like a mistake in hindsight, but going forward, I really don't know that I'm going to start implementing stop losses. For me, the risk of getting stopped out before a move up or a move down, if I'm going short, is too high. For others, the risk of losing all is the highest priority. It's just a matter of perspective. And guys, we have to be open-minded in that regards. Stop being hard and judgmental on other people for the way they manage their risk. I can fall prey to that too. So as you approach your friends and your family about any kind of risk, any kind, politically, medically, financially, be kind, compassionate, and remain open to their perspective on risks. All right. And if you're wanting to introduce new variables into their equation for how they see the risk, that's fine. Do it in a non-confrontational way, like I do with my crypto traders. I ask a question. All right. Asking those questions allows you to prod at their psychology to see where they're at and what factors and variables they have utilized to come to their risk tolerance conclusion. They may be simply looking at their decision from a different angle. All right, and that's all I got for you today. Peace, y'all. Love y'all, and thank you again for all the encouragement. I'll see you in the next video.